Hello. So I went through this comment thread, um, and the only thing that I can say is I think you don't do enough research. There's a lot of people that comment like this, like how do we know? How do we know that they know this stuff and like all that jazz. Um, so if it for those who have no idea what I'm talking about, this is a comment from a a clip of Prehistoric Planet, and it's about pterosaurs and their mating rituals and like how you know how they behave and stuff like that. And so this guy here, it seems like what's her name? Danny. Okay, we'll call you Danny. Um, so Danny doesn't understand how paleontology works. It appears so and I feel like you don't understand what a dinosaur documentary is either. And you're talking with this guy that I've been seeing a lot in these kind of videos. His name is Tyler. It's just his profile name. I don't know. But buddy, like Tyler is very educated on this. Like he knows what he's talking about. I've commented a couple of times. I know probably less than him, but I know a good amount because I've been obsessed with dinosaurs and prehistoric life for as long as I can remember. And so whenever new information comes out, whenever there's prehistoric planet or whatever, I like Barbiodactylus, the clip that we were looking at. I didn't know about that pterosaur. It looked like Nyctosaurus, which has a very similar head crest. Well, the big guy did. So I was like, okay, so what do we know about him? And then literally everything they show on screen is just based off of certain fossil evidence that they have with generically pterosaurs, not just Barbiodactylus, but just pterosaurs. Um, they have these big displays, these head crests and stuff like that. So they have to be colorful. They have to be, probably covered in keratin, like our fingernails, and like like a toucan. Like the bill is the big part of the bird, so it's got to be nice and colorful. A hornbill, they're closely related to toucans, and they have big crests on their nose, and those usually will have keratin covering over them, and they're very beautiful and very colorful and stuff like that. So that part, I don't know if you guys got into that, but yeah, it's sexual display. Here, look, Cryolophosaurus. Here's the skull, and that is the head crest, right? So it is most likely covered in a keratinous sheath, or like a little part that goes over it, and it could have been a lot bigger. It could have been a little bit bigger. We don't know, but it is most likely something that dinosaur, which by the way, pterosaurs aren't dinosaurs if you didn't know. It's a sexual display, or it allows other members of its species to be like, that's a Cryolophosaurus. I know you are. Oh, that's not. That might be food. You know what I mean? That's kind of how that works. And then with the behavioral stuff, like again, a lot of people I go through these videos just to find stuff like this so that I can help people understand how paleontologists figure this stuff out. So behavior wise, there are lots of fossils that show how, like, here's a good example. There's a dinosaur called Oviraptor. If you saw Jurassic World Dominion, in I think it's like the prologue. Yeah, in the prologue when Giganotosaurus kills the T-Rex, yada yada yada. There is a scene of an Oviraptor in a cave. It's white and black, has a little bit of red on it, and it's eating some eggs and stuff. But it's funny. So that name Oviraptor means egg thief, because when we found Oviraptor, it was either a mother or a father, because both sexes do that. It was covering eggs, like its body was on top of eggs, and its arms were splayed out and stuff, so they thought that it died while it was hunting. And that's not the case. That's a behavior thing. That was a parent covering its babies as it died. I don't know how it died, but it must have been pretty quick for it to be laying on its eggs and then it just dead. So that's a behavioral thing that we figured out based off of that fossil. We know that at least Oviraptor and Maiasaura is another one where they take care of their young, at least for a certain amount of time. Maybe some sauropods, just left their eggs there, like turtles, like sea turtles, because when you uncover a nest, it usually excuse me, sorry, I'm trying to educate and my body's doing weird things. Usually when it comes to egg nests, they're very fragile. That's very rare to find eggs because they can disintegrate like that. So, and that kind of goes with most fossils. They had to be in the right spot at the right time to be covered in certain sediment to be able to preserve that. So sand is a very good preserving sediment, and mud or being buried underwater is a very good way to be fossilized, because there's less things trying to get at you, and I think there's just something in the rocks and the sediment that just replace that calcium in your bones that well. One really good example of one from sand is a velociraptor literally fighting a protoceratops mid-battle and dying instantly, because you can see that the velociraptor has its sickle claw in the neck of the protoceratops, and the protoceratops has the wing of the velociraptor, and the wing is actually kind of broken too, so it already clamped down on that thing, and then they both died. So it's speculated, because we don't know, it's speculated that maybe a sand dune fell on top of them, buried them, suffocated them, and they both died like that, which can happen. We have seen that in real life today. So it's not just we're guessing, we don't know about anything on prehistoric planet, this is all just guesses, we don't know what color they were. Funny you say that. We do know what colors some dinosaurs are. Borriella pelta is a mummified dinosaur. The top half of the dinosaur, so from the sides up, you can see all the spikes, all the scales, everything is preserved perfectly. Sorry, my dog's freaking out. And so we know what color it was. It was like a dark brown on top and kind of a dusty tan on bottom. Psittacosaurus is the same one. A little dark, brown on top, and then counter shaded kind of cream colored on bottom. And then you got Sinosauropteryx. The feathers were preserved around that. You can see all these black little feathers all around the skeleton, and that still has the melanin cells in there, and based off of their certain shape and color and stuff like that, you can figure out, and these are fossilized, they're not alive, they're not live cells, they are fossilized cells that you can see through certain means. I'm not exactly sure how it works, it's some kind of microscope thing, but certain melanin cells have certain shapes that you can be like, oh, that's red, that's black, that's white, that's brown. And Sinosauropteryx is like a rusty orange with a banded tail. So it's like orange, white, orange, white, orange, white, like a raccoon. So we know what color that one was too. Microraptor, same thing. The feathers were preserved, the melanin was preserved. And it's black, like a crow or a raven. And so when the light hits it just right, it would do that iridescent, green thing. So all of the evidence that you're seeing on that show is based off of fossil evidence or animals that we have today that do similar things. So just do a little bit of research, do some Googling, watch some videos and stuff like that. You'll really start to understand after that.